welcome to today's show. My name is Ada Chaco and I'm a scientist from Newfoundland. Today we have a letter from Miss Lupo from Toronto, Ontario, asking, let's see what it is about. She's asking, what is vitamin D? Vitamin D. To the lab. So what is vitamin D? Vitamin D is not just one chemical, but many. The natural type is produced in the skin from and universally present in the form of cholesterol. The sunlight's ultraviolet energy converts the precursor into a vitamin D3. Obviously, it's just present in a hydroxyl group, which is OH. There's two types of vitamin D, vitamin D2 and vitamin D3. Of course, they're lumped together under the name of vitamin D. Vitamin D is very important for bone health. It helps to build stronger bones partially by increasing the absorption of calcium. Vitamin D also improves muscles, therefore protecting your fractures. Vitamin D comes from the sun's rays because the sun's rays interact within your skin to produce vitamin D. And also, vitamin D can also help you produce the muscle and bone growth. Vitamin D is special because it's not likely to be like any other vitamins, but it is fat soluble, which means they can be made up. Which also means that if you don't take it today, you can take double the amount tomorrow. For example, you can take the vitamin D from pills, or you can just go outside and get the sunlight. But too much vitamin D can lead you to vitamin D deficiency, which is really bad because it can lead you to like severe conditions like cancer and much more like that. Some of the food that include vitamin D is egg yolk, fish, and I believe fortified grain products and dairy products. So to answer your question, Ms. Lupo, vitamin D is none other like any other vitamins, but it's special and we really need it in our essential daily life to function our bodies. Of course, I know what a vitamin D is, but do you?
Vitamin D is a group of fat-soluble corticosteroids responsible for enhancing intestinal absorption of calcium and phosphate.
Vitamin D is a source of vitamin and it's very healthy from infant to an adult.
Okay. Source sunlight.
Okay.
So the most natural way to get vitamin D is from the sun.
Okay.
And then failing that, then we get it from foodstuff.
It's a vitamin, it's a nutrient necessity.
Vitamin D is a vitamin needed for the human body, which is available free of charge from the sun. Usually you can get it early in the morning.
Vitamin D is a vitamin that we need for our body. It's important in the conversion of various hormones and stuff like that we need for calcium absorption in the stomach.
Vitamin D is a vitamin that we get from the sun.
Vitamin D is something that you get from the sun. It's good for the skin, and I'm not sure what else.
Vitamin D is also known as the sunshine vitamin. Okay, at your age, probably teenage years, you probably need about 400 to 600 microunits a day.
Yes, the vitamin D is one of the non-water soluble vitamin. It's necessary for the bone and the teeth mainly.
It's great for health, for healthy skin, and it promotes healthy bones also.
I do believe that it helps your bones. It complements vitamin C.
Because it helps you in your development, and the person that doesn't get it gets rickets.
If you are not provided enough vitamin D, as a child, you can suffer from a condition known as rickets, which is a bone disorder. Remember that vitamin D is a precursor to the absorption of calcium and potassium.
Yes, calcium for the calcium get into that bone structure as well as the teeth structure during the tooth development and the bone development. The vitamin D is necessary to get absorbed into the bone. Even though you have enough calcium, unless you don't have a vitamin D, it won't get absorbed into the bone.
And
as a result, you will get the less bone density, end up with bone fracture, osteoporosis, etc. And the teeth, if your vitamin deficiency is deficient during the period of to developing time, you can see the defect in the teeth itself. For example, you get patches, white patches on the teeth. Is very brittle. The enamel is brittle. All kind of things. So that's point vitamin D is deficient.
A new study linking vitamin D and cancer in a way we've never heard before. Doctors know that low levels of the vitamin can lead to a host of illnesses, but now research suggests that vitamin D might actually hold the key to fighting cancer. John McKenzie has a story.
The studies just keep coming, the evidence mounting. Low levels of vitamin D are now linked to so many illnesses, from breast, colon, and prostate cancers, type 1 diabetes and asthma, to multiple sclerosis and heart disease.
I even think of vitamin D as the fountain of youth, if you will, in that it allows us to age well.
At least that's the hope. And nowhere is the evidence more compelling than here in the laboratory.
So all the work here is on vitamin D?
Yes, we've got
Professor Joellen Welsh has spent the last 25 years studying the powerful effect of vitamin D on cells.
These are human breast cancer cells growing in the flask.
Taken from a woman who had breast cancer?
Yes.
Now watch what happens when you add a potent form of vitamin D. Within just 4 days, half those cancer cells are dead.
It looks like the cancer cells have basically shriveled up and died.
The longer they're treated with vitamin D, the more of an effect we see. What happens is that vitamin D enters the cells and it triggers this cell death process. It's similar to what we see when we treat cells with tamoxifen.
A drug used to treat breast cancer?
Yes.
That's amazing.
It is amazing. It's a very dramatic effect.
That was just the beginning. Researchers here then took human breast cancer cells and injected them into mice. Tumors quickly began to grow, but when the mice were treated with vitamin D, the tumors began to shrink. Look, this one was reduced to half its size. The one here disappeared entirely. Similar results have been seen on colon and prostate tumors in mice. The real test, however, remains. Will vitamin D work this way in people? Other lab work is revealing how vitamin D can actually improve the way cells function in the heart and in blood vessels.
And the number one killer is vascular disease, and vitamin D makes our arteries more healthy, basically, allows them to age well.
Preliminary, tantalizing research on a common nutrient with so much potential. For Good Morning America, John McKenzie, ABC News, Albany, New York.
As an infant, I remember some babies when they're born, they have yellow skin, and when you put them to sunlight, as we know, sunlight has vitamin D, and it helps restore that skin, and so they do not get the jaundice. It helps them away from jaundice. So vitamin D, yeah.
Okay, and as an adult, why do you need it?
Well, from my experience, I use vitamin D because I do not have enough sun exposure. And also I mix it with calcium to help take the belly fat away.
As an infant, yeah, you will need vitamin D because of bone development and stuff like that. So.
Okay, and as an adult, what do you think?
Yeah, you do need vitamin D as an adult as well.
Small units of vitamin C in infancy. In fact, you know what? You can actually put the child out in the sun, believe it or not, and that's the conversion under the skin will actually provide for vitamin C. So that's how the child can get it. As adults, we don't get enough vitamin C, particularly during the winter months, so you can actually buy a supplement and take it. However, the best way is the natural way. If you like fatty fish, then that's wonderful, like the tunas and the sardines and all that, who gives you that. I don't eat fish, so I usually take a 400 unit supplement.
Absolutely, that was one of the recommendations when I started taking vitamin D from actually a good expert. Here's Ms. O'Connor. Her brother is one of the leading researchers on multiple sclerosis, and it's actually from his advice through her that I started taking the excess of vitamin D. So I started taking 6 a day, and I actually get my kids each take 2,000 IUs a day.
as personal experience, when my baby was born, they were born with yellow skin. The doctor suggested they were short of vitamin D. So what they did was they put them in under a light. They tie their eyes, they band their eyes, and put them under the light, which was the stimulation of sunlight. And that's how their jaundice went away from their body.
Warning I would give people is that you have to be very careful of sun damage if you are exposing your skin, because you will end up with possibly melanoma. And as somebody who didn't wear a hat, I'm suffering from it now. So make sure you keep a hat on and make sure you wear sunscreen.
People living in North America, especially in the winter season, have a lack of sunlight. If a person has less vitamin D, you can get rickets, which is the disease of the bones.
I have a condition, multiple sclerosis, that is strongly linked with a vitamin D deficiency. So as a measure of mitigating and reducing the progression of the disease, because it's a progressive disease, is to take an abundance of vitamin D to correct my body's inability to produce it effectively the way it should. So I take about 6,000 international units of vitamin D, which sounds a lot, but it's 6 pills. So 1 pill is 1,000 IU, and 6 pills would be 6,000. So I take those 2 pills 3 times a day.
And what if you don't take it? What happens?
Again, it's just that there's this strong connection between vitamin D deficiency and multiple sclerosis. So all I'm trying to do is replace what it appears my body is not able to do naturally.
And
I get plenty of it every day.
How do you get it?
By sitting down in the sunlight and having my coffee.
You can take it from the pill, but in terms of food sources, you can get it from cod liver oil and from certain kinds of fish and fortified cereal.
And we also get it from dairy products, milk, cheese, etc.
Fatty foods such as tuna, salmon, those are the types of foods you're going to be able to extract the vitamin D. It's also a fat soluble.
So mostly the people getting it through the sunlight, they get the more of the vitamin D. But where the sunlight is less, they have to get the food, either supplements or else through the seafood, fish, right? And
Why don't they get the difference between a big fish and a small fish? Why?
yeah, mostly that vitamin D they take from with a small fish with a bone, which you can consume, right? So that's the reason you get the vitamin D. There's example of the sardine, the very good fish contain the vitamin D.